Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We got a good one for you tonight. We're going to sample, we're going to do a little review on ASW Fiddler, Georgia Heartwood. Stay tuned.
Raise your glass, let the hunt begin. Underneath the stars, we're gonna dive in. Rolling through the hills of Wisconsin's heart, where the bourbon flows.
All right, thanks for joining us. I just cracked open this Fiddler, Georgia Heartwood. Was able to pick this up at the Wisconsin Barrel Company in Lodi. If you have a chance to stop there, it's 100% recommended. Stop in. Great people, great selection of bourbon at great prices. They also do a lot of home decor stuff there where you can get barrel heads custom engraved, pretty much about anything you want out of a barrel. They actually made these for me. I have this one, and then there's another one with our other logo that Ryan's got at his house. I think it took him about 20 minutes. He made them while we were there. I emailed him a picture of our logo. These things look great. So I would imagine everybody watching knows what these are, but these are some sampling staves. People come over to the bar. We want to do like a three bourbon sampling or a blind. We can use these. They kind of work real nice. Glasses go in there. Anyway, back to the review. So I did just open this. It was a really good cork pop. So I don't know how much of this you can see. So all of these Fiddlers, these Georgia Heartwoods, these are single barrels. This one says Distillers Collection Barrel 986, aged 7 years, finished 3 years and 7 months with 15 staves. This is 59.9% alcohol. So just shy of that 120 mark. So what's really cool about this Georgia Heartwood, the reason they call it the Georgia Heartwood, so they get all their wood for these, at least the staves that go into the barrels. What it says is it's wild storm-felled white oak from North Georgia mountains that they use for these. The wood seasoned the elements for over a year, so what that basically means is when the wood's cut, it goes out into the parking lot or the back 40 and they just let it sit in the rain and the snow and the heat and the cold for over a year. And what that does is it leaches out all the tannins out of the wood, takes that bitterness out of it. If you've ever made wine, you know there's wine tannins in there that can give wine like a bitter flavor. Also gives it some of the color. But anyway, so when you sit that out there, it leaches the tannins out. And what they also do is they separate the sapwood from the heartwood. So the heartwood is dense with lactones. The lactones yield rich, sweet, and nutty characteristics. So once they get all those two, they split them by hand, they char them by hand. The char levels range anywhere from level 3 to 4 to 5, depending on what it is. And I think that's why they will put anywhere from like 12 to 30 staves in a barrel, I think. Probably depends on the size of the stave and how much char's on it. So every barrel is going to be different just because of the char. Those staves actually impart a ton of flavor into it, give it a lot of characteristic. So Fiddler ASW, it's out of Atlanta, Georgia. All their distillate comes from MGP, I believe, which is out of Indiana. They make distillate for, I don't even know what the percentage would be of distilleries around the country, but a ton. They make a lot of stuff. It's really good. So the mash bill on this fella, 51% corn, 45% wheat, 4% malted barley. So with that high wheat content, it's going to be real sweet. That kind of fits my profile. If you're a Buffalo Trace kind of person, Buffalo Trace has all wheated profiles. They're sweeter. You get that on the nose. Buffalo Trace also has a little bit of that grape flavor I get on a lot of stuff. So this Fiddler, I have just a little bit in a glass just to let it air out a little bit. Get a little oxygen in there. Typically, I've said this on some of our other videos, I like to let at least sit for a few weeks and then come back to them, or at least a week or two. I have never had a case where it's been worse. It always opens up and gets a little bit better. But this fella on the nose, get caramel right away. Maybe some cinnamon and toffee, maybe. Real sweet. Like I said, you get that real sweet aroma off it from the wheat. You don't get any of that wheat funk you typically get from, some of the wheated stuff has almost like a hay smell to it or a hay taste. I'm definitely getting some char off this from that barrel impact. So I saw online, when I got this, I looked it up. One of the things I said online said this is triple oaked, which basically said, I think they age it in an oak barrel for 4 years, pull it out, put it in another barrel for 3 years, and then the staves go into it after that. So the stave would be the triple oaked. The bottle doesn't say anything like that. The bottle says age 7 years, finished for 3 years and 7 months. So I don't know exactly what that means. If the staves were in it for 3 years and 7 months, that seems kind of crazy to me. If it were in there that long. I'll read the back of the bottle real quick here and see what they say about it. So it says, weeded and repeated. This spirit began its life as a foraged bourbon whiskey aging in new charred American white oak barrels. After it profited handsomely from the oak sugars and the tannins of the first barrel, master distiller J. Manglitz and distiller Whit Hagman continued their fiddling by adding staves of white oak heartwood into the barrel for the final few months of maturation and imparting additional oak and spice. This intricate, labor-intensive fine-tuning culminates in, the lighting sucks in here, so this is hard to read, an ode to American spirits. A many-oaked masterpiece, lively in its old-time fiddler, just like Manglitz himself, and unique as the instruments they play. Says these are never chill filtered, they never add color to their whiskeys. It says it is distilled in Indiana, finished and bottled by ASW Distillery in Atlanta, Georgia. So, very cool. I've seen some videos on ASW online. So that Manglitz, their master distiller there, he's actually a professional fiddler, which is where the name comes from on a lot of this stuff. So really cool guy, really good at blending, really good at coming up with good stuff. So anyway, let's taste it. Man, I get a lot of caramel, more of those baking spices, but those baking spices kind of blend into like a smoky, charred scent. That's got to be from the staves, I would imagine, that get put in there. I wonder if that almost does a little bit of like the like Jack Daniels does the charcoal mellowing. All that charcoal it's basically pallets of sugar maple that's burnt down to chunks, and they grind it up into smaller chunks, and then the whiskey drips through it, and it gives it a little bit of the same flavor this has, like that charcoal mellowing. It's got to be from the staves, which means it's probably a high char. I don't know if I said it yet or not, but their staves they put in there go anywhere from a level 3 to all the way up to a 5. And the amount of staves they put in these goes anywhere from 15 or 12 to 30. So I think that depends on the size and the width and everything else, and the char level, and then they decide what goes in there. But wow, that is like a caramel bomb, like smoked caramel almost. So one of the things I can compare it to, it kind of brings me back to my childhood, not because of the bourbon as a kid, but my mom used to make these things. They were marshmallows, and she would do something, melt caramel or do something with caramel. Marshmallows would go in it. Then they would kind of get wrapped in like a Rice Krispie and cooled, and you could eat those things, and they were unbelievable. And I kind of get that out of this, to be honest. So I'd be interested to see what my brother thinks when he tries this, if he kind of gets the same thing. So by that I mean I get that caramel bomb, a little bit of a cereal flavor, like that, like a baking spice almost, like a Rice Krispie note like that. It's really good though, and you probably can't see it on the glass, but this thing's got legs for days. It's really viscous, coats your mouth real well, coats the glass well. Yeah, this one's really good. I am going to get a drop of water. Purists would probably be mad at me because I'm not using distilled water or anything like that. So I don't know if you could see that, but just one drop sometimes makes a massive difference. It kind of makes all those flavors explode, just a drop of water. Man, a long finish on this. I don't know how long I could sit here and I could still taste it, but it's crazy. Really sweet, really good. I can't wait to come back to this one in a couple weeks, see what it's like. So if you've had this, comment, let me know what your thoughts are. One of the things I thought was cool on this, if you have the Only Drams app, I looked this up, the ratings on that, 4.5 out of 5 with over 50 ratings, which to me, that's a little bit unheard of. You don't see that high of a rating with that many different reviews. So obviously this one's a banger. If you can find this, I highly recommend getting it. If you're in the area, swing by the pub, Bourbon Bunker down here if you want to give it a shot. I'll have it on hand. Otherwise, thanks for watching to the end. Maybe we can get Ryan to join in on the next one. He was busy tonight playing softball, so he couldn't make it. I'm too old for softball. I turned down the invitation to play. So I think I'm finally fully retired. I don't know if my wife will believe it yet, but I think I am. So anyway, thank you for watching to the end. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. Cheers. Shout out to this week's sponsor, Edge Electric. Contact John Edge for all your electrical needs.